Question number 7. How do you live with lupus on a day-to-day basis? And has it affected your working life? This was their response.
Okay, so my day-to-day living changed dramatically from me once being that bubbly, confident, outgoing person that used to love going out, raving, love my garage raves, partying, to now being at home, being depressed, feeling low, not being able to run like I used to, not being able to dance like I used to, because I used to be a raver. But that all changed because I just didn't have the energy. And I just felt so low myself because I wasn't the person I used to be. So I lost that confidence in myself. And I used to work part-time for a housing association. Even that started to become a struggle for me. Days at work, they used to send me home early because I'll be sleeping at work on the desk, or my mood was really low, and because I had to deal with customers, and sometimes when I used to go to the front desk, I had to walk slow because I was struggling, and they would like tell me to hurry up, and then obviously that initiated a reaction out of me, and I thought, well, this is getting too much for me. And even though my work did adapt by letting me to work at the back, sometimes I still had to deal with customers at the front end, and that's when I knew it was getting on top. During COVID, during the lockdown, we was working from home, which was a bit better, but I was still always tired. I was still having pains, and there was days where I still couldn't do my job. And so I eventually got signed off work for 6 months, and then OT got involved, and they said they don't know when I'll be able to go back into work. So my job laid me off, let me go. It was a sense of relief in the sense that I knew I couldn't do it anymore, that job. But at the same time, they could have given me a bit more time to, because I was still going through therapy, going through treatment, going through pain management centre. I just don't feel they gave me enough time to try and see whether I could adapt. I mean, they did give me a different role to do, but because of my condition, and my memory and my concentration span has completely changed. So picking up something new was a bit harder for me, and I was making mistakes. And when I was making mistakes, that got me even more emotional, and like, I can't do this. So it's like it's like a roll-on effect, like a domino effect. If something doesn't work, then something else don't work, and then it just affects me totally. So doing a new role just wasn't even better for me. So then they just said, yeah, it's time to go.
Since then, have you been able to find something else maybe creative to do to keep you busy? How do you keep yourself busy?
Basically, I was trying to look for something to work from home that I can do at home in my own pace and in my own time. A friend of mine showed me about an opportunity where you could be an independent travel agent. I love to travel, so I thought this was the perfect fit for me. So I started doing that and sharing the opportunity to other people. And it was one of the best decisions that I made, because the company that I'm with, the people I'm surrounded with, they're very supportive, and they help me. So even when I'm having a down day, there's someone I can phone and speak to. And so they keep me focused, more motivated, because I do a lot more reading now. And so it was, even though I missed, obviously, I lost my job, something better came out of it by partnering with this amazing company that I love, especially because it involves traveling. The main thing is, as well, it's more about the people that I'm around. I've got a great support network with them. They're understanding. I can just call them, and they just keep me motivated. That's what I need, someone to keep me motivated, to lift me up when I'm feeling down, and I've always got that around me now, so I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, so I don't work anymore because of the lupus. I was working up until 2019.
Yeah.
I was working until 2019, but then because of the issues I have with my vision and all of these things and like that, I had to not work anymore. I do want to get back to work, but at the moment it's just not possible.
Yeah.
With my everyday life, I just feel like I just have to take each day as it comes.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, I just get myself depressed all the time. So I just try not to stress myself out. I just try to be as calm as possible all the time.
Yeah.
and then I just stay from there, really.
I think each day, there's no day the same, because I don't know how I'm going to feel. I think what I would say I've learned over the years is to really like listen and value my body. So and I've had to work a lot with eliminating guilt. So if I wake up and I feel drained and I feel, burnt out, and I feel like I can't get out of bed, and I can't go to work, then I can't go to work. And it's understanding that there is kind of like a domino effect. If I push myself over my limit, it's going to affect the next day. It's going to cause me to have a flare, and then the recovery is always, much longer than me just listening and taking that time. So I try to. Uh, I'm mentally a very motivated person, so my mind wants to go to space and achieve the world, but my body is saying, hold up, we haven't had that agreement, I'm not going there. So for me, I try to give myself not too much to do throughout the day, and actually, learning to be a little bit more kind of. So just trying to be more grateful for the things that I do achieve. So if I have 5 things on my list, and those 5 things might be as simple as, getting my daughter ready for school, going to work, um, uh, cooking, and doing bedtime with my daughter. It might be 4 things that I do for the day. And if I've managed to do those things, it's great. If I've managed to do 2 out of those things, I'm like, okay, well, I've done 2 things. It's better than I didn't do anything. And even if I have those days where I haven't done anything, I'm just like, okay, today is a rest day. And then tomorrow I have that little bit more energy, and I find that the next day I'm able to do a little bit more. So I think for me, it's just taking that time to recognize where I'm at on that day in the morning, and just just taking kind of like one day at a time is the best way for me to manage. Because when I go into the trying to manage the whole week, the whole month, and all of that stuff, that's when the depression starts to come in, because I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything. I haven't been able to achieve the goals that I want to do. And that's when I start to look at, how much of a burden this is. If I didn't have this, I'd be able to do X, Y, and Z. You start looking at the person on your left and your right doing what they're doing. And then you just feel low, and then you can easily fall into what's the point. Um, and I, and I've realized that, it's very important just to know that this is my journey. Even with other people that I talk to, that, I've got friends who have got lupus, and some of them don't have the issues that I might have, and some of them, have that little bit energy, or they're on a different journey. And sometimes you're like, well, how come they can do that and I can't do that? And you can easily fall into trying to push yourself a little bit more to be like them, but you're not like them. Your body's different. Your symptoms may be the same, but they affect you different. And it's really just an individual journey of being able. And I think once you can recognize that, it helps you to kind of get through those daily battles.
Well, working life, that was challenging. There are times that I will be on my way to work, and I know I'm just going to show my face and go back home, because I know I couldn't do anything. And I remember going and I said to the manager, listen, I'm not well. I don't know what's going on. That was before I was diagnosed. But I come to show my face. But I'm going back home, And it went on for a very long time.
I stopped full-time work. I was a teacher, double stress, and loved it. I loved it, And I think sometimes things make you do things. So even after my diagnosis, I just decided I'm working a day less, but I'm going, and you have days you fall down, you get up, and you go through the shingles. I had to have a number of surgeries. I developed something called hidradenitis, where you got all these lumps around your body and in your arm, and every time they have to do something, how am I dying? But I'm not. So eventually, just before all of the surgeries, the last set of surgeries, I stopped. And when I went for one of my assessments, they said to me, "You're now in a support group. So I'm really not supposed to work, but I can't sit idle." So I'm still involved. I sit in schools still. I'm on 2 school boards, and I chair 1 college board. I'm involved with the Claudia Jones Organization for Violence Against Women and Girls. I'm a Lupus UK ambassador, if you want to, to let people know that there is life with it. And I sort of say, when people say I have lupus, I say, well, I'm really living uniquely, positively, unapologetically, and sagaciously, and I'm just getting on with life. And you have to. I've had many dying moments. And I think when I talked about the pain in 2017, it was really horrible. And I said to them, okay, I now know that I am indeed fearfully and wonderfully made, because I was feeling pain in my toenail, my eyelash, the eyebrow, all in everything. I think everything was just, and you're actually trying to sleep and you're feeling the pain. And then I said to them, I said, I need morphine. And they said, no, you cannot get that. I was like, I need something. And eventually one of my friends came with a hot water bottle, and that just did wonders in the hospital. But it was really a frightening time, But so now it's just doing what I can. And as I'm saying, I'm learning to pace it. Although and I keep involved in the things I love to do. So I do my singing, I'm back with my choir, doing stuff with my young people when I can. And I have a passion for checking on those who were there before me, so all my mothers and that sort of thing. So when I need to, I just take time and spend time with them. And I used to be overly and very active as a church leader and community elder and sort of thing. And I sort of stepped back from that. Just to do a little more of what I love to do, and even my gardening. This week I'm happy I'm eating my own cucumbers, so it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Question number 8. What coping or self-care skills have you developed?
Putting myself first and seeking alternative treatment, because I've spent thousands of pounds on it, and my ex-husband too. But that was important to me. Put me first. Think about me. Sleep, extremely important. Even now, yeah. If I go to bed at 12, the next day I'm not good. So sleeping is extremely, extremely important for me. Yeah.
I think coping. I'm very good at talking, so I think communication has been one of my probably main coping skills. I find it very easy to express myself. So if I'm feeling like crap, I express that. If I'm like, I just can't cook, I can't do anything today, like I express that. And even sometimes in like how I feel emotionally, I've realized that over the years, that's what's kind of, because people are not mind readers. So me kind of maybe saying to my friends, especially like you get friends and they go through things, and everybody has a right to go through their problems are the most. But I might have a friend who is losing a bit of hair, and they're like, oh, my hair's thinning a little bit at the front, oh my gosh, woe is me. And that's fine. And I have to be like, well, you got hair at the front, I've lost my hair. So it's like, but at the same time, understand that they can feel that way, but just sometimes to remind them to be a little bit mindful. Because while you're on the phone for half an hour talking about, your edges are going, I'm like, if edges going was the only problem for me, like, that would be great, but it ain't, And sometimes wearing these wigs, I mean, I know you can wear a headscarf and some people can be bald, and I think that's fine. Each of their own. Obviously, I've got like the marks on there. And personally, I'm not at that stage where I want to walk around bald, and there's nothing wrong with that. Each of their own. So for me, you know, I wear the wigs. But sometimes when it's hot and you're irritable and you don't want to wear a wig, you might have to draw for, you know, the headscarf. And even sometimes that's irritable. So for me, like going to work, sometimes that has to be like, I can't go to work today. And again, you know, having to exaggerate your symptoms, or I can't come to work today because my scalp is irritating me and I can't wear a wig. And it's like, that doesn't fly. So it has to just be like, I'm having a flare at the moment and I've got multiple symptoms and stuff like that. Because again, it's that lack of understanding, that lack of knowledge. So communication definitely, you know, is that coping. And I find also over the years, like research. So research and really understanding lupus has really helped me, and I'm still learning things. You know, I only found out the other day that, you know, possibly, you know, garlic might be a trigger, you know, and I mean, I'm still obviously researching into that, but, you know, I've had lupus for over 24 years. I'm still learning certain things. I'm still learning what creams might be good to help with scarring or help with irritation. You know, I only found E45 itch the other day, you know, for my skin that has worked wonders when it's irritable. And it's like a lot of that comes, you know, with trial and error. So I think, you know, communication and knowledge have been like the best coping mechanism, you know, for me.
Listen to your body. And then allow your body to sort of take care of itself and heal itself, because that is what it can do. Shut out noise. What happens, I've always known this, even from a child, because there was a time in our childhood when we were just in and out of the hospital, the whole family. My dad had a severe accident, my sister had this, my mom had this, and everybody's, and I think I had my tonsils removed. And I've always discovered that when something happens, everybody has a cure. Everybody has, drink this, take this, do this. So they get upset with me. I'm like, no, thank you. I am doing what works for me. And I laugh. Anything that would have me laughing, you know, it's good. It releases the endorphins and it keeps you going.
I listen to music a lot. It really helps me. I also like to just do silly things like just watch the TV. I like to go out quite well. Recently, I've been doing that, but before I wasn't really doing that. Um, I just try to live my life as normal as possible because otherwise I'll go mad in myself.
Definitely focusing on my self-love, because that's one of the biggest things that I lost when being diagnosed with lupus. Like even right now, I feel like I'm shy, but back in the day, I'll be up in that camera. I used to do modeling, I used to do extrovert. So I used to love this, but now it's like I'm trying to find myself again because I miss the old me and I don't want this condition to take over my life. And so, yes, I've started this self-love journey, which I've been doing the last couple of years. I mean, I do slide off a bit, but I'm back on it again. And it's all about being grateful now. I'm learning about gratitude and being grateful that I'm still here. So that's one of the biggest things that I have been learning about, being grateful that I'm still here, being grateful that I am beautiful and that I can still talk, like I can still walk. And yeah, so I just give thanks